just last weekend in Kerry. They're based in Glenties. They're Filligans. You may be familiar with them from the delis and restaurants and food markets because they have a whole range of products, in fact 50 different products. But they won gold for their tomato and chili relish, gold for their tomato casundai chutney, and then bronze for their sun-dried tomato whole grain mustard with balsamic. Sounds delicious. And they also took home best in county. Well, I'm delighted that the director of Filligans, William Cremen, joins us now and hopefully can hear us on the line. William, good afternoon.
Yes, thank you, John, and thank you very much for having us on our show.
No problem. Congratulations, first of all.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a great achievement, and we're delighted to come out, top of the class in some of these in these areas.
Not the first award that Filligans have won. You've also been successful in the Great Taste Awards and on the Food Coast Awards as well.
That's right, John. I suppose if you go way back, we started in 1997. I suppose from the kitchen of Sarah and Philip Moss House, and from that time to this, there's been a steady growth and a steady, I suppose, incremental gaining of knowledge and experience and expertise. And many of our staff have been with us from that time, and their skills and knowledge gained over those number of years have really added to the quality of the products. And when you augment that, then we've taken on some newer people in the recent years, and they've got superb experience in the food sector. So we've been very lucky that we have a very strong team in the company. And the first awards were in 2002, actually. And from that date, incrementally over the following 20 odd years, we've won awards at different events and different places. But the Bloss are the biggest ones in Ireland, yes. And they're very competitive. So it was a big thrill for us to get those particular awards this year.
In the region of 3,000 products in general entered into the awards, so it gives us an idea of what the competition is like, and the finest from around the country. But you were successful, and maybe successful because you continued to keep it real, and there would have been a temptation to go down the mass-produced route, I suppose, as things got bigger and the scale of things got bigger over the years. But you've resisted that.
Absolutely correct, John. I suppose our ethos when we started out was everything is natural. There's no artificial flavourings, no gluten, no nuts, no GMO, and we started off with traditional recipes, and everything is handmade in small batches. So it's very traditional, and everything we do is by hand. So that ethos, I suppose, has stood us over the last 25 years, and we feel particularly strong about it. But John, I suppose that is what artisan food is about. And I'd say if you go around the county, and go up to Shannon in Dunfanaghy, or in Marianne in Cabocha in Nidalig, you probably get the same feeling of passion about their food that really separates artisan foods from the mainstream that you're talking about. And it's never a track that we want to go on, to be honest with you.
Now, your products are to be found in, really good restaurants and cafes and delis and at food markets, but also in some shops. So it's great that you're on the shelves in some shops. I mean, ultimately it's all about the turnover. You have to have the turnover to keep the staff. But you mentioned about the passion there, and when your products pop up in places that we love, I think that makes a difference.
It does. And, you're always combining the products with, the people that buy it. And, we were at, Taste of Donegal when it was very strong. And you get to hear what people think immediately of the product. And it's, and you do get tremendous feedback from the public in that sort of environment. And similarly with shops, I mean, most of the like Filligans in Donegal, we would have a direct contact with the people that we provide the food to, the product to. So we get feedback quite directly, whether it's in our retail with the jars or whether we go into the hotels with our catering buckets, because we do quite a strong catering side of the business as well.
Yes.
For that. So it's a lot of it is about listening to what the feedback is, and then to react. I suppose if you'd ask me, like, how do we go about making these award-winning products, the process that we kind of go through is we're hugely busy at this time of year, as many food producers are coming into Christmas. So our quieter time is in the first quarter. So that's the period that we sort of look at the market, look at what might be appropriate to both our current customers and future customers. So we look at trends that might be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, when you see like tomato and chili relish or a Kasundi, Kasundi is quite a new idea for a chutney, but that was driven out of listening to what the next generation are thinking in relation to food and the slightly spicier element. So that's where they come out of, and our team back at in here in Glenties would work on this idea. It's quite torturous at times because you go through 6-7 different tasting. You send them out to people, you get them back. It's not quite hot enough. It's too sweet. And then over a period of time, it might take 6 months, John, but eventually we get there.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't go to market until it's tried and tasted and tested.
Yeah, well, I suppose like most artisan foods, we live or die on the quality of our food. And from day one, we've always looked at quality as a key difference in our food. And so that's why anything that goes new to market, we have to be happy with it first.
Preserves, marmalades, relishes, chutney, and then of course there's it's far too numerous to mention the foods that they can they're great with, whether it's a sandwich or a toasty, or as I read somewhere, great with sausage rolls, and something that I hadn't thought of.
Well, if you look at the tomato and chili, for example, is not a new concept. We just try to do it better, and that's obviously a very flexible product that can go into Italian or Mexican or on burgers, or cheese or on sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kasundi then is more an Indian base, but it is an Indian chutney, so it's that bit spicier. Mm. So again, that would be an accompaniment to curries, or even in the curries, or you can even mix it with rice. I was actually down at Pirates of the Coffee Bean in Nairn at the weekend, and they had a sandwich which was based around squash from the Port Newmarket Garden, and they as the base, and they had the Kasundi chutney alongside as part of that sandwich, and it was gorgeous. And that was a bit of creativity from their part.
There you go.
But it worked.
But it's those little touches. It's a little bit of chutney or relish that goes into a sandwich or a toasty, and you have it out in a cafe and you think, wow, that's special. And the reality is that, you can easily do this at home.
Absolutely. No, it is. And, once people can have the ingredients and have the time, it's not a massive, big leap to be able to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about having the right products. All right, well, listen, continued success, and based in Glenties, and a recent winner of those 4 awards at the Irish Food Awards. So once again, congratulations to you, and indeed to everyone there at Filligans. William, thanks a million.
Many thanks, John.